Ripped from the pages of the Pastanomicon and filmed in glorious marinara vision, I bring you Ravioli for Randy, Episode 3. With me, your host, the Neon Lord, and my compatriot and counterpart, Joey Royale, here to talk all things zombies in Episode 3. Joey.
Ciao, paisans. Nice to see all of you today. Looking good.
All right. So, the big controversy, though, we almost talked about, but I wanted to talk about it
Yeah,
on air. What constitutes a zombie, right? Like,
typical question.
there's rules that I stuck to. I stuck to for the most part. I stuck to the Romero like slow shambling zombie for the most part. I did break the rule, and that's the controversy. And I put it in my top six, but I had to put it at the bottom. It is my number six. Is a rule breaker, but that's okay. It's our
Now,
rules.
viewers, we have the Neon Lord and I have not shared our list with each other, so we are going to be. This is all live, unshared, uh, unadulterated zombie talk, and Neon Lord, I don't think it'll come to blows, but I'm very interested to see how we compare and contrast our zombie films. I don't know. To me, a zombie is a reanimated corpse
Yeah.
that feasts for human flesh or brains. So I was playing Magic the Gathering with my son. I had a zombie deck, he had a vampire deck, and we had a very interesting discussion of the day about what's the difference between a zombie and a vampire. They're both the undead.
Hmm.
They both have certain ways of being killed, and they both. I thought it was a very thing, but to me, zombies can decay. There's a decaying aspect of the corpse.
Yes. Yes. So that's the thing. The undead is a broad statement. Hold on. I don't know if it's going because it just still looks like it's the main screen. Okay, it's okay. There we go. I don't know what they heard or what they didn't, but we're just gonna go with it. Yes.
Very
So
good.
to recap real quick, trying to constitute what a zombie actually is. Like when it comes to what a zombie, like there's the 28 days later fast viral zombies. You got the reanimated dead flesh of a space, because isn't it like a satellite dish in Night of the Living Dead or something
Yes.
like
Yeah.
radio?
Yeah. There was a satellite that crashed and let out some waves.
Yep. And then you have the undead broad spectrum. That undead, yeah, vampires and zombies fall through that. But yeah, vampire is a ever living flesh that never ages. When you have the zombie, who I would assume has a finite timeline of living. I mean, essentially, if they can't sustain on anything, they have to eventually. Okay, so
And I
we were
think
good.
we're good. And I think
Yep.
physically, yeah, they have to sustain. But it's interesting. What is the? I don't know if this has ever been explored. What is the longevity of a zombie? Like eventually, their tissue will
Yeah,
destroy to an extent where they can't be mobile, or they're just a skeleton.
it has
And in
been.
some of these movies, some cool things happened around where you saw reanimated pieces. We'll get into that, but I want to introduce one other zombie for discussion, Neon Lord, and
Yeah.
that's like the puppet zombie. Something like on my honorable mentions, like Night of the Creeps. So those were corpses that have been reanimated with alien life forms inside, like those leech creatures. So there's that too.
Yeah, that's and then you got Serpent in the Rainbow, the Wes Craven movie
Yes.
where like he's a zombie essentially, right? Like but it's like
Yeah.
the voodoo aspect of a zombie.
That's the occult. I call that the occult zombie, the one
Yeah.
that's based in actual mythology, Haitian mythology and religion.
All right, let's get right into it. All
Let's
right.
go.
Let's
I'm
hit it.
ready.
Honorable mention number 1 off the bat for you, Joey. What you got?
My honorable mention. I'd have to. Okay, and this goes: is it a zombie or is it not? One of my all-time favorite horror movies, but I included this in zombies because of how some of they're portrayed. Carnival of Souls, black and
Interesting.
white, creepy as all heck. You got the organ music, that leitmotif playing through the whole thing, and you have these nothing short of ghouls. Compared to a contemporary to Night of the Living Dead, you have the white face, the black eye makeup, and they're lumbering, inhuman, possibly the dead. So that's my. I'll just say that right off the bat, like just in terms of a ghoul-like creature, Carnival of Souls, and then I'll stick with that. Go ahead.
I like it. Okay, so my first honorable mention is City of the Living Dead, the Fulci, the end of the Fulci zombie trilogy. You got House by the Cemetery, The Beyond, and then City of the Living Dead is the all like the end of it, where like the clergyman hangs himself and opens the gate
Yes.
to hell.
Oh my God. What a scene.
Yeah,
What a way.
what
Yeah.
what yeah, so that's my like off the rip. Yeah, it's like a two-parter, two pack, but yeah, so City of the Living Dead's great. Like when the zombie priest looks at you, all your guts fly out of their mouths.
Oh,
Like what a
that was awesome. Definitely up there. Yeah.
yep. So that's my first honorable mention because we did make another like rule that I stuck to was one per director in the top 6. So obviously City of the Living
Yep.
Dead's in my honorable mention because it had to be spoken to, but obviously Fulci made like a better zombie movie.
Yeah.
All right.
I have another follow up for runner up, and this is basically under a column of pre age of 13 terrorific experience with zombies. Shockwaves.
Yes, Shockwaves, World War
Shockwaves,
II, World War II zombies.
the reanimated Nazis. And
Yeah.
what did it for me as a kid was the just the aquatic nature of these zombies. How the slow rise, almost like the apocalypse now rise from the bog, and just how they're all the same. They have the goggles, the bleach blonde
Kind of
cut.
yeah. Yeah, the
But like a lot of the ones that were runners up for me, great zombie scenes, but the in between them it can drag a little bit. So that's really why that one
mm,
didn't make it. The overall loaf of bread was just didn't have enough in the middle.
yeah. A lot of bread, not a lot of meat. Not
Exactly.
not a lot of prosciutto.
Not a lot of prosciutto. It's just a piece of semolina with nothing inside.
Yeah,
Little olive oil, but it's not going to get you through the day.
exactly. All right. So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this movie. My honorable mentions. I got Burial Ground. It's
Yeah,
like very sought after VHS for some reason,
yeah.
and another Italian horror zombie flick where the kid actually gets infected and bites his mom's nipple off.
There you go.
So
That's one way to do it.
I had to add that in. Burial Ground. It's not that good, but
No, that's a nice way of putting it.
yeah,
And then I think so too. And I this is in my follow up pile. Um, like you said, because of the rule about you don't want to share the same director, and it's not the same director, but still, it's just too close. I
yeah.
really enjoyed the 1990 Night of the Living Dead.
Tom Savini remake.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was something special. I don't remember a whole bunch of it, but I remember seeing it for the first time in color. One of those first scenes where they hit the guy on the side of the road, and
yeah.
that just stuck with me. Folds right up in the middle, and I thought that was a decent shot. I mean, why would you mess with Night of the Living Dead? That's it's like why would you try to repaint over the Mona Lisa? But it was a nice shot for what it was, and it was Savini. So I got to give him credit there.
You got to give him a pass for Savini
Yes.
working on it. But the big thing too about that I thought was interesting as a kid, well, teenager watching it,
Yeah.
was I felt it was like the original Resident Evil game, like
I could
movie,
see that.
like
Yeah.
the before the movie came out, like way before the movie came out. I was like, it was kind of like that's the feel I always get from that Night of the Living Dead Tom Savini remake, which is good though. It is good, but it's like, is it needed? But I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Right.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like gilding the lily.
Yeah. Exactly. Glowing reviews for Burial Ground. It's not that good in the chat. Yeah, it's not.
Nice.
Like you
Nice.
watch it for the kids acting is awful. It's
Yep.
just it's a good like beer and pretzels movie for sure.
Yes. Sure. You
Okay.
need some junk food to follow
Yeah.
up. Uh,
Honorable mention. Reanimator.
sure.
Like, is it? I
Yep.
mean, it is a zombie movie, but like there's sentient zombies. Like the head on the table like talks.
Yep.
So like, I don't I don't know. It's a fantastic movie, one of my favorites of all time. But does it constitute the quintessential like Night of the Living Dead style zombie? It doesn't, unfortunately. So it has to go in the honorable mention. But
That's
fantastic.
definitely one I pondered as a huge Lovecraft fan myself. But at the same time, Is it is a full blown zombie movie? You look online, best zombie movies of all time. It's on every single one of them. But I
Yeah.
think for our discussion among gentlemen, that didn't really cut the mustard for
I'm
me.
glad. I'm glad that like the the hard rule of what we determined a zombie. We didn't talk about it, and I did that on purpose
No,
to see what we would do, and we
yeah,
stuck. We stuck. That's old school right there. That's old school horror fan like logic of keeping it Romero, if you will.
I got one that breaks the mold a little bit, but
That's
we'll share
okay.
that later.
I got a huge mold breaker in my number 6 spot. Okay, so
Okay.
what do you got for an honorable mention? I still got a stack.
Yeah, sure. Honorable mention because of, well, this is one of those ones where I really couldn't say they were zombies. Night of the Comet. An amazing movie.
Oh yeah,
I
yep,
love that movie
me
so
too.
much.
I
And
didn't. Yeah,
the zombie portion of it is minor, but there is that whole thing of, radiation, reanimation. It's corpse like makeup, and they can be killed, but they're out for flesh. So I thought that one, I wanted to throw that on there too.
yeah. It didn't even. It almost made the honorable mentions if we were at
Mm-hmm.
like a longer a show. It almost made it, but it got the final cut. It was in the stack, didn't make the stack, but it is a good movie. It's one of
Just
the
a great
best.
movie. I
Yeah.
try to watch it every couple of months. Just the coloring, the tone, the nostalgia of it. What do you got?
So I have this is like a hard one, not a hard one, but a hard cover. It's the Grindhouse. So Planet Terror on the
Oh
Grindhouse.
yeah, sure.
So like modern, I would say like probably the most modern, the best modern zombie movie, Planet Terror. I can't think of another like modern zombie movie that even comes close to it.
No, I am in complete agreement with you. In terms of modern zombie films,
Because
which have just become just they just I don't know. There's so many of these that I just tried to click through if I missed anything, and they've overdone it with the effects, or there's too much computer graphics. That was one of the last good ones.
yeah, I would say so. I can't. I'm gonna do some research after this, Joey. I'm gonna come back to you and I'm gonna see if I can find anything remotely close in the zombie genre, modern wise, that comes
Yeah,
close. I can't think of one. But Planet Terror is so good. It's such a fun movie, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, sticks to the 90 minutes that we talked about.
since we had that conversation, I'm judging everything by that now, and that did have a lot to do with this. Um, I'll
I
tell
might,
you.
yeah,
You know what I can do too? Can I tell you one of the worst ones
yeah, absolutely.
I saw? I thought I was gonna like it at first, but I had to turn it off. The Dead Next Door.
Okay, yeah, I have it. Oh wait, Dead Next Door. I have to see the cover. I have it somewhere.
The Dead Next Door. It starts out awesome. They're taking over an A and W root beer stand. It is like they made it with neighborhood kids. It looked like, and the dialogue is off, and
Oh yeah,
everybody accidentally gets bit by, like, they're so irresponsible by the way they get bit. It was a good. I got into it for a good 45 minutes, and I said I couldn't get through with it. So I'm gonna try to finish it, just to finish it, but that was a grindy one.
yeah. I think I have a copy floating around somewhere because that cover. I have. I was confusing it with Dead and Breakfast.
Okay. I don't know that one. Oh,
Yeah, Dead and Breakfast.
Dead and
So
Breakfast.
another honorable mention, which doesn't constitute. It does, but it doesn't. Nightmare City. There.
Yes. Yep.
So
Watched part of it today. I wanted to make sure. I mean, you can't watch them all in a lifetime, but that was what I wanted to just shoot through a little bit.
so I don't count it because they use weapons.
Yes, this is the one where they come off the plane
Yep,
and they
right off
start.
the
Yeah,
bat.
yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah. Great
yep.
start to a
Oh,
movie.
fantastic.
Not messing around. No, long trip, or somebody has to go research something. Boom, right out of the gate, they're ripping you apart like LaGuardia on acid. It was something else.
That's a good way to put it.
But the
Yeah,
weapons, I agree. The weapons,
takes it off the list, but a good movie.
absolutely,
And then
absolutely.
yeah, they're like machetes and machine guns and Uzis, like pretty much anything they can get their hands on, they use.
Chains,
Yeah, chains.
yeah.
Yep, it's a good one.
My gold star, my gold star. I know you have a stack. I only had a couple of these. My gold star, Thriller. Michael
Interesting.
Jackson, Thriller.
Yeah, Oh yeah.
You have one of my quintessential pieces, or the thing about zombie movies that I always embrace if it happens is the corpse coming through the earth. If you got a corpse coming out of the ground through a mist, I love you. Chef's kiss. There's that. There is take out the dancing and all that kind of sassafras, but if you look at the just the narrative parts, um, just the slow lurching, lingering, the sound in that is awesome. The gurgles of the dead,
Mm.
you know, and then there is just the inevitable old dark house where you got nowhere left to go. The hopelessness. If a zombie movie just ends in that almost hopelessness, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't always want a nice happy ending in a zombie movie. That's not why I watch them.
No, I mean a zombie movie realistically is the beginning of the end.
Yes, well put. Well put.
But yeah, Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Do you ever see it? You ever, like when they get electrocuted and then the
Yeah, yeah,
zombies
yeah. Yes,
they do the Thriller dance.
they do the Thriller dance. That one was way over the top. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that movie.
But those zombies, I mean, the makeup, that was Landis directed that. The Thriller,
Yep.
those zombies, man, I still remember to this day. There was the overweight blue bald guy. I
Hmm.
used to tell my sisters, and they believed it when they were little. And I used to get in trouble that that guy was never accounted for. That they never found out who that actor was, and to this day, they really think it was a real reanimated corpse. And they used to buy it, and I remember they used to cry.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so is that I have two more honorable mentions.
Go, go, go! I want to hear these.
Okay, so we talked about uh different countries. So I got two.
Yeah,
I got one
yeah.
from Japan, Wild Zero. Really?
Oh man, Guitar Wolf, one
Yeah.
of my favorite bands of all time.
Yep. This.
I've never sat through the whole thing. I've just seen clips here and there,
Oh
just
man,
doing some research. That's on my list, Neon Lord. Yeah, absolutely.
gotta watch it. Worth a watch. Love this movie. This is.
From what I've read, it's just all out action, like just nuts.
Yep. Yep. See,
Yeah, man.
when you come,
Guitar Wolf, and zombies. That's a beautiful mix right there.
and then from I want to say, let me double check before I mess this up. I
I
thought,
gotta watch that one. That's on the list for tomorrow, brother.
hell yeah. The yeah. So Newberry Comics in
Yeah,
in like Boston and stuff.
yeah.
I used to just like buy like I bought Wild Zero there. I bought a bunch of like Japanese horror movies and zombie movies there. And like I definitely remember I got Wild Zero and um Biozombie, which is kind of I did I only wanted to do
Yeah.
um one Japanese one, so Wild Zero obviously like beat it out. But Biozombie, it's kind of like they're stuck in a mall, like, and it's kind of
Okay.
like it's got like a comedy spin to it.
And I had no idea about the zero, the Guitar Wolf one, the what is it called, the zero,
Wild Zero.
Wild Zero. I did not know about it. I've been a big Guitar Wolf fan. I did not know about it until doing research for this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nope, I had
Yeah,
no idea. It blew me away. It completely missed me.
yeah, yeah. It's insane, insane. Do you like the band Calabrese?
You know what? I don't know. I gotta listen to him a little bit more. I mean, once again, Gilding a Lily. I love the Misfits. They're one of my favorite bands of all time.
Hmm.
And Colin, I don't know. There's some songs that sounded okay, some songs that didn't. What's your take on that?
I love them.
Yeah, I'll listen to him tomorrow a little bit more.
Traveling Vampire Show is like one of my favorite albums of
All
all
right,
time.
I'm writing that down. I trust you.
Okay. And the Bobby Calabrese from the band, likes the game, no big deal. So,
All right,
there's that too.
all right. Best band in the world. I get
shameless
it.
shameless plug. Okay, last one. So,
Yeah.
I learned something today by doing a little research. So, the Plaga Zombie Mutant Zone is an Argentinian film, right? But there's four of these bad boys. So, this is the second one. I didn't even know there was more than this. So, this is like it's like a pro wrestler, like a medical student, a nerd, and I think that might be it. So yeah, so it was the pro wrestler, medical student, and the nerd. Yeah, so they all get like put back into like the zombie quarantine zone. Like I don't really remember the plot, and I don't think like through the translation it ever
Sure,
gives you
sure.
one. But it's just like a Dead Alive style like over the top romp, and there's
Over the
like
top.
a yeah they use like a weed like a hedge clipper
Yeah, yeah.
and all that good stuff. So, and Undead is actually an Australian one that didn't make the cut. They use like a they like railed together two shotguns, and that's like the big like prop of the movie, and they like wear
That's
gas masks and
yeah.
stuff. Undead, yeah, that didn't make the cut. I almost did just for this though, just for Australian cut. So, but that gets us to our top six zombie movies.
Here we go.
This
This
is the cream
this is
rises.
something, man. This is something. This I did a lot of watching, as I told you before the show, over and it was just guts, blood and guts. And my kids are like, "What are you doing? What are you watching? This used to be when I started watching them. This was white. This was a beautiful white velvet jacket. Now this is completely covered in gore, and I rubbed it all in so it's a uniform color right now. That's how many zombie movies I watched over the past 2 weeks just for you, Neon Lord.
I love it. So, give me your number six.
Number six, this is more of once again a nostalgic thing for me, but I revisited over the past couple of weeks, and it still stuck with me a little bit. And that's Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Yes, that great one.
Low budget, but done well. It wasn't tongue in cheek, low budget. They weren't trying to make any jokes. It was people who were trying to become filmmakers. Alan Orr eventually became, very prolific in making some cool stuff. Actually, he was the creator of one of my favorite toys from my vintage collection, the Hugo, the Man of a Thousand Faces. But anyways, Children Doesn't Play with Dead Things. Nice occult feel to it. These are zombies that are reanimated due to some black magic from a bunch of drama kids fooling around in a cemetery. I thought the corpses, due to the I think in a lot of these movies, the lower budget that you have, the more realistic zombie you have, and these zombies are still scary to me because just because of the makeup, there's something very creepy, sort of thrillerish. I love that thriller zombie, that style of decay. I like a formal zombie. I like a zombie in a suit to represent how they were, their funeral, they were buried. Because to me, that's an important thing too. Because the zombie would always mess me up. So I grew up. My father and my grandfather had a gravestone business,
Hmm.
and as a kid, I used to go every Saturday. I used to go with them to the cemetery. They had jobs during the week, but that's how they made some extra money. And we used to always go to the cemetery, and it was a very sacred thing. You don't mess around in the cemetery. You show respect. It's because my father also in high school and into his 20s also worked as a mortician. So he would go out, pick up the bodies, embalm them, and drain them. And he was well known and respected around town for his gracefulness around death and the ritual of death. So when I see a zombie in a suit, there's this connection where like that was somebody's family. They're really breaking something. They're really breaking conventions. I don't want to get too deep or philosophical, but children shouldn't play with dead things. I love seeing the first guy in the suit and the silk interior of the coffin. That was scary. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, I love anything where you're boarded up and they're coming in, where it's a very confined. My two scariest kind of zombie film falls under two umbrellas. Are you confined and they're trying to get in and you have to use your resources, or daytime?
Hmm.
Some of
Yeah.
my favorite horror films in general is a daytime. And I'm sure we'll talk to a daytime scene going down the line here. But that's my number six. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. A nice, you could call it amateur, but I think that would be a little bit disrespectful. They worked hard. It's grainy. It's got that kind of sepia to it that I love about it. That's the basil on the pizza for me.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So mine's a controversial pick because it doesn't constitute what we established as being a zombie, but
Sure, sure.
it's the problem is it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and so I had to put it. So I restricted it to number six. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be number six, but it's Cemetery Man in the states.
Interesting. Talk
Um,
to me about this now.
have you ever seen it?
I have not. I have not.
Oh my God, this. So it is a Italian English co-production with Rupert Everett as Dylan Dog is the comic it's based off of an Italian comic series.
Yes, yes, I have a couple of copies of Dylan Dog.
Yeah, I picked up a couple when I was in Italy just
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
you gotta. But yeah, like I want to say I'm gonna. Oh yeah, Della Morte Della More is the Italian name. So it's essentially a caretaker of a cemetery who the dead come back to back to life, and he puts a bullet in their brains, puts them back in. But there's so much more to the movie. Like the Grim Reaper comes and pretty much
Ooh,
tells them to stop killing the living. Stop killing the dead. Like kill them before they come back. You know, like start killing the living instead of killing the dead. I don't know. It's really weird.
interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy on the end of the movie. The ending is like a Fight Club esque ending where like you know, so like some people hate the ending, some people love it. I think the whole movie from beginning to end is phenomenal. I highly recommend it. It's one of my top five favorite movies of all time. I would
Really? Well, that's going on
absolutely.
the list then, man.
I
All
would
right.
I would be remiss if I didn't put this on any kind of zombie list. There are zombies in it, but they're not the focal point. But there's some the good zombie death scenes. There's actually a bus full of Boy Scouts that end up biffing it, and they come back as zombies. And then one of them is still trying to light a fire with like the stick as he's like
Oh, nice.
walking like a walking zombie. Like the zombie special effects, unbelievable. The effect, like every effect, is phenomenal. There's like I don't know. There's a lot going on. There's like a decapitating
Cemetery Man.
cemetery man in the states. Probably the worst name they could have got because like in high school everyone talked about it like oh cemetery man it was on HBO all the time
Yes,
cemetery man it's like man that is like the stupidest name for a movie I've ever heard well
like
until I
one more
watched it
man. All right, I
yeah
got it. That's high accolades, and I trust your judgment. So that's going to go on the list for this week.
absolutely all right so yeah my number six pick
Cemetery Man.
is cemetery man that
And
brings
are they shamblers?
yes see that's the
They're
thing
shamblers.
they are well some of them are there's one that actually gets reanimated on his motorcycle.
Oh man.
So you got to watch it. I would say like with between now and when we're done, you should watch
Okay,
Cemetery Man. It's
I
it's that
certainly
good.
will. I'm going to watch Cemetery Man.
All right, number
All
5.
right. No, going to international for number 5.
Love it.
Uh, Zombie 2.
Yeah, gotta have it.
I mean, um, this one, it's not high up there because, I've talked to you about this before. With zombie movies, it seems you have zombie scenes and then you have the in between waiting, human interaction, possibly research or travel end of it too. Not as dragging as Shockwaves, but Zombie 2 kind of has a little bit of the unbaked middle. It could use a little bit. It's got the meat. Could use a little bit more meat in the middle there. But the zombies scare the hell out of me.
So
These are the way they are just eating. It looks like they went to the deli and got some like calf's liver, and they're just over them eating. And what I like about that too, there's a couple of scenes where they're feeding and they don't even look up. And there's a part where they're like peeking through and they're just watching them and they're kind of rocking back and forth where they instead of just being dumb, the dumb end of mindless, they're just I don't know how to put it in a different way. It's a scary mindless.
it's like a primitive mindless.
Yes,
It's
yes,
it's
yes.
like pure. So like in see in another zombie movie, there's a doctor and he calls it pure mechanical instinct.
Oh, yes,
And
yes,
that's like
yes.
and then now but okay to rewind you back zombie 2 for the uninitiative is actually called zombie in America it's called zombie 2 because in Italy zombie 1 is dawn of the dead
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like it's very 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 confusing and full sheet directed zombie 2 I'll do my zombie 2 part when I get to it on my list.
Oh, okay. Sorry, man. Sorry, but
No. That's actually that will cut down on our time because we're gonna have crossover.
so there's other stuff in the movie too.
Yeah,
It's not just the zombies. Classic Fulci, classic kind of Argento kind of thing. The oh god, I
Oh
got
yeah,
goosebumps talking
yeah.
about it. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
absolutely. The splinter, wood splinter through the
The
eye.
splinter
It's
wood, everybody's fear. I'm not an eye guy. Like teeth and eyes, any kind of stuff like that, it grosses me out. But that just and they take so long. They're torturing you. They
uncut.
know the
Hmm.
human revulsion of and just the blistering of the wood, the
Hmm.
mise en scène of that whole thing, the blistering of the wood. It wasn't just a little jagged wood thing. Some prop guy went in there, he broke it apart, he made it dry, he made it like a whole bunch of your uncle's toothpicks after he picked the teeth from a meal. It's like going in slow, and it gets her. She doesn't have a chance. Uh,
No.
and then the shark zombie. That's not
Yeah,
even funny.
zombie
Like,
versus
oh,
shark.
that's one of the shark zombie, right? That's
Yeah,
disturbing.
yeah.
There
Fights
was
a
like
fights a shark.
fights the shark, and like the real life aspect of it. Like,
Yeah.
what was that filming day? All right, listen, Jimmy, dart the shark with the tranquilizer. Gary, go underwater, hold your breath enough so you almost drowned, and fight a shark. The guy probably got paid $50 that day to fight a shark in zombie makeup underwater. It's all your worst fears. Deep water, sharks, in the living dead, lurking around some coral.
Yeah,
God bless that
exactly.
movie.
Well,
And then
plus like
the Conquista at the end, the graveyard of the
yeah.
of that, it was like, oh man, with the mealworms. They
Mhm.
really went over the board on the budget for mealworms in that movie, and it was worth every penny.
Yeah.
God bless that movie.
So my number 5 is one of your honorable mentions. But because like I didn't think, I don't know, I considered them. I see what you're saying now. I didn't think of it at the time, but it's Night of the Creeps.
Yes, love it.
Yeah, I mean because like yeah, it's like alien slugs, but they're still shambling zombies.
Yes, they are.
So I still counted it. It's got some of the best lines, like we talked about. Thrill me, and he answers the phone.
Yeah.
Thrill me, and then
Yes.
like it's the same guy that directed Monster Squad.
Yep.
So like
Yep, you can't go wrong with that one. It's one of
yeah,
my favorites. I just didn't know if I was. I don't know. I didn't know if I was going to be breaching everything. But you're the Neon Lord. You say that's good.
I
I'll put it
say
up there too.
I say Night of the Creeps goes. It's got one hell of a beginning because like you don't know what you're watching. You got aliens like
Yeah.
like alien like alien puppets. Like everything's physical, like practical effects.
Yep.
There's obviously no CGI at that point. And then you got like the 50s style like Lovers Lane makeout point
Yep.
like
That
the
movie has it all.
yeah,
That movie has it all.
the radio like attention like beware like like does
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful movie. It's a
Hmm.
beautiful movie, and it's once again it's one of those movies that embraces humor, but it's not too much. It doesn't go too far.
Right.
It's there's still some real creep outs in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a fun.
Brad's here, even
Yeah.
Brad. Like when she
Yeah.
comes to I love that. There's so many good lines in that movie, and
Yeah.
that's one like a good piece of bubble gum. You can just chew on that one over and over again.
Yeah.
Timeless,
That's
never gets old.
nope. That is one you can pop on and watch it. Like you can watch it by yourself. You can watch it like as a group. It's got
Yeah,
everything.
definitely, definitely. Nice Saturday afternoon. That goes great with a can of Orange Crush.
Well, and you know, and the this is the reason why Night of the Comet didn't make it was because Night of the Creeps to me I feel has that same spirit, but
Yes,
Night of the Creeps edges it out just a little.
I would agree, especially in the world of zombies and possibly overall. I think I get a little bit more out of Night of the Creeps.
Yep, agreed.
Night of the Comet could get a little bit slow, but cool.
All right,
I like the
so
female lead aspect of Night of the Comet.
yeah, it was it was like the '80s, so you
Yep.
didn't see that much back then, and it's like
Uzis, neon, yeah.
yeah. All right, so what is next on your list? So we're down to the
So here is my
number
here is
4.
where I break a little bit from tradition in terms of how the zombie moves and whatnot. I can't believe this is this was not on my original list. This went on my list at 4 o'clock today after I finished it. And I hope we can still be friends about this. I hope this doesn't make you lose viewers. I can't believe it made it to number 4, Neon Lord.
All right, let's hear it.
Piscopo,
Oh, Dead
Treat
Heat.
Williams, Dead Heat.
Dead Heat.
I mean, it's incredible. I watched it as a kid. I didn't care about it too much. It was just a funny action movie. And then I went back and it's like, holy cow, the entire movie are zombies. Everybody dies. Everybody dies early on. You have the protagonist dying. He dies right away. And then Piscopo, they find him upside down in the aquarium. Piscopo drives me nuts. He's like, he reminds me of like Lou Reed's meathead brother. He drive. But the one-liners in this movie, the use of automatic weapons, where there's just two of them standing next to each other, and it's not like throwing Skittles in your face, hilarious kind of thing, but it's like really part of the action where they're shooting each other. You got Vincent Price.
Yep.
You got Darren? What's his last name? Darren from Christmas Story and Kolchak the Night Stalker. What a lineup. The dad from Christmas Story.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know his name off the top of my head.
I got it. He deserves the respect. Christmas Story dad. But Kolchak's one of my favorite TV shows. So you got a great cast, even though Vincent Price, one of my favorite actors, he was in there for like 10 minutes. He's kind of phoning it in. But that I just thought it was a great movie. There's zombies. It's a cool take on the zombie.
Oh yeah.
Where you have it's a zombie buddy cop movie where they use their powers of undeath to fight this corporation. It's definitely planted a seed for an adventure I'm going to work on, possibly for Ninja City, because it has all the elements of that. But a really cool take on reanimation where it's science powered, a serum and some electricity. And but this is what was special about this movie, Neon Lord, was the reanimation of everything. So there's a scene in a Chinese restaurant where the owner of the Chinese restaurants, who is in cahoots with this conspiracy to reanimate the dead, turns on some light. It's very Big Trouble in Little China kind of thing. This electricity goes, and all the Chinese food, all the ducks, they start moving. This giant beheaded, I think it's a pig. It's the biggest pig I've ever seen, and I've been to New Jersey. This big pig, it just comes out of the walk-in freezer and just comes out. It's a mess. It's a mess of a movie, and I love it. I love every aspect of it. But I got blown away. 4:00 today, I finished it. Something that I had looked over in the past, but I said this is a great spin on the zombie movie. Plus, it's just classic late 80s action, buddy cop, weird stuff. That's it.
Yeah, almost made my honorable mentions, but it did not. But
Darren McGavin, that's his name. It almost made your honorable mentions.
Almost. It's a great movie. Joe Piscopo.
Great zombie makeup too.
Yeah.
Underrated
Absolutely. Makeup. Yeah. I like Joe Piscopo. I think he's pretty wild.
I love to make fun of Joe Piscopo.
Yeah.
I respect him, but I love to make fun of him. He's just tough to look at sometimes.
Speaking of things getting reanimated when the serum goes, you know where I'm going?
I think so.
Return of the Living Dead is my pick. So
Yep.
when they open the canister in the medical supply warehouse, all the cadavers come to life, and all the behind the glass and everything, like the half dog.
The half dog. So this is my number 4. Let's just make the Venn diagram right there.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, that's my number 3. It's After Dead Heat.
Okay, so yeah, that's perfect. So then we could just talk about it together, and then I'll go right into my number 3.
The butterflies. I watched it again, and I had never caught it before. But there's just this little thing in the background,
Yep.
little set drum.
Yeah, the shadow box.
Yeah, the shadow box. That disturbed me the other day when I saw that again. That was such a nice artistic touch there.
Or like when the cadaver wakes up and when they put like a pick through his head.
Yeah.
Like
he's so gross. He's yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow and naked and bald.
Every time, even to this day, I drive by like a medical not surplus, but like a medical supply store. I think of that movie. Like
Absolutely.
I mean, think about it. It's got like the medical supply people, the punk kids. You got the funeral director with the crematorium.
That's a great character too. I love that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just
love
like
that guy.
what it's just interesting, like the whole Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, or like Night of the Living Dead split to Return of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. because like Romero and the other guy who worked on it
Right,
like
right,
went
right.
separate ways.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother like episode on its own. That's a whole nother matzo ball. A whole no- uh, it's a whole nother cannoli, if you will, Joey.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We,
So with that movie, you got it once again a beautiful balance
mm-hmm.
of humor, despair, and the human condition. When both of the guys that I mean, this movie is I'll tell you, this movie is completely overrated, underrated, completely underrated. The acting in this is wonderful.
Oh well, yeah. I even put my Night of the Living Dead or Return of the
There
Living
you
Dead
go.
pin. Gotta have it.
The
Yeah.
acting in this, like when they're, it's in the beginning of the movie when they're talking in his office
Mm-hmm.
and they're just having a conversation about the job and all that. They're immediately like there's it's just a nice kind of partnership there. And then you throw in the coroner who that guy, the guy who owns the crematorium and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the acting is really really good. The effects for Tarman, I that looks that's intricate. They went over the top. The special effects cannot be understated. The quality of the special effects in that movie. Once again, you got the grave crawler. You got people coming out of the ground.
Yeah, with the rain.
Uh, the what a wonderful way to explain the reanimation. I
Mm-hmm.
said it out loud. I was watching it today. I said, that's beautiful. That's perfect. Burn the body, goes up, drops in the rain. Oh, my skin.
Yeah.
And oh, what a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Greatest movie soundtrack, barring any Goblin soundtracks. I mean, you can't beat Goblin. But you got the Cramps, you got a bunch of stuff going on in there. Really great soundtrack, fun movie, good movie, scary movie. Once again, the cemetery scenes, and then the world's closing in on us. We
Mm-hmm.
have limited
Yeah.
resources, and they're
Send more
breaking through.
cops.
Yep, send more cops. A wonderful development of the zombie mythology. It's a very transformative film when it comes to what a zombie can do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they only eat brains and they can talk. So technically, we broke our own rules for having it so far up the list. But it's beyond quintessential when it comes
Yeah,
to zombie movies. Plus, I feel that's like our generation's Night of the Living Dead.
it's a threshold. It's a threshold movie. Now, I'm not a
Absolutely.
zombie expert by any means. I haven't seen them all, but for me, as a viewer of horror movies when I was younger and currently, that was my first introduction to the idea of really mobile zombies thinking. One of I'll call it beautiful, and I'm not speaking in hyperbole. There's something very disturbingly beautiful in it. Is when they rip the corpse of the woman through the door. She's half she's dissected here. She's in rough shape as a corpse, and they have her on the table, and she talks about how it hurts to be dead.
Yep.
You almost get a little misty eyed in that scene. They went deep there.
Yeah.
Everybody fears death, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows why.
Right.
I won't get too far down that road in terms of existentialism and stoicism, because that's something I pursue outside of the fun stuff of zombies and all that, the philosophical end of it. But the idea of death hurting them, and that's why they eat. They eat to kill the pain.
Right. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can you not be a little bit sympathetic for them?
No, that's the thing. Like they add a sympathetic twist to like a movie monster that theoretically is a movie monster that could kind of happen. I mean, like 28 Days Later proved it that like it could,
Sure.
and then like anybody could be turn into a zombie. So like it kind of like brings it like home a little bit more. I
Yeah.
feel than it even should, because like it's so over the top in parts and so funny, but then so like melancholy and so like yeah, like existential dread.
It's a beautiful movie. I like it. I don't know how many times I've watched it over the years.
Okay,
Yep.
so that was your number three. Was my number four, and I don't
Go
know what.
ahead.
So my is Zombie. Lucio
Yep.
Fulci Zombie is my number three. So I'm not gonna really like harp on it because like we talked about it like a lot, but we didn't talk about the beginning scene with the zombie on the bridge.
I watched it 2 days ago, and I'm trying to remember what
So
I'm
yes,
thinking.
or wait, maybe it's the end. Is it the end or the beginning where they're no, it's the beginning where like it's like the the zombies on the bridge, like the super fat zombie is like walking on like the
Oh
like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
It
yeah.
clicked. It clicked. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
you scared me because I was like, wait a minute, am I like
No,
completely?
no, 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 no. Listen, I'm telling you, this is all I've been watching. So they all get kind of mixed together here and there.
So
When you
yeah,
get down the pike of the Italian zombie movies, they have a similar visual tone.
they do,
You know.
but I feel like the Italians mastered the art of the zombie film.
You're welcome.
But I'm a huge Italian movie fan. I mean, this is our
Yeah.
third episode. How many times do I talk about like Italian cinema? Like
What was your first? We'll just go on a tangent real quick. What was your first Italian horror film that you saw?
see, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I would have to say
Suspiria.
Suspiria. Definitely, you
Suspiria
remember it.
for me. Yep.
Well, we won't get into that because that's a whole Giallo. We could do a whole episode on
I'd love
Giallo.
to. Absolutely.
All
Oh
right.
boy, this is wonderful. I love hanging out with you, Neon Lord.
So
The hits
okay,
just keep coming.
real quick before I forget. So I'm
Yes.
thinking for episode 4, we take it to a vote. I'll put up a poll on the thing, and we'll see what the neon maniacs and the weird heroes wanna see.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So okay, yeah. So I won't harp on Lucio Fulci zombie. Like we did talk about it. I do like like I do like cannibal movies too, like the
Yeah.
like Cannibal
Yep.
Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox,
Sure.
and stuff. So I feel like zombie has that tropical setting because they go down and they try to figure out like why the zombies happen, and they go down to like Haiti or wherever it is. I
Yep.
I don't remember, and it has that feel. It has that cannibal movie like feel for me, like down in like I don't know. But I do like that part. Like it definitely has that weird feel. It's got the splinter in the eye, which is famous, like
Yeah.
beyond a zombie movie. It's got the shark versus zombie, zombie versus shark attack. It's got the conquistadors at the end crawling out of the graves. Like fantastic movie. Definitely should be on everybody's zombie list. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. So
One of the
good.
most iconic VHS covers of all time, too. I think that zombie with the worms in the eye.
Yep.
You can't go wrong.
So we got a question. Garrett in the asked, would you? What's your two choices to fight zombies? One ranged or one melee? So would you rather fight it hand to hand or fight it with a weapon like
So
a
this
gun?
is actually Garrett. Great question. It's actually something I was pondering today while rewatching a movie coming up on my list. And I was trying to think about what would be the best way to do this. And I think ranged. I think ranged. I was trying to figure out, and if we have time, we can talk about this. But since the door's been opened, what would be your preferred weapon?
Oh, that's what the question is. What's your preferred weapon? He said MP5 and a buttstock war club, Native American club.
Oh, that's awesome. I think I would go. I was trying to figure out. I had this conversation with my son today. Would you go with scoped rifle or shotgun? Um, I mean,
S-
obviously, I'd want both if I could, one for ranged and one for up close. But I would probably go. I'd probably go the geez, scoped rifle
mhm.
and a machete, a real good machete.
Nice. I'd go AR-15 with a cricket bat.
Nice. Oh,
So
you see, you're adding a little flavor.
well,
You
Shaun of
got
the
you.
Dead. You gotta have the Shaun of the Dead and Casey Jones reference off the bat. You gotta still have some fun in the zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So
Good
you're
question, Garrett. Good
yeah.
question.
So we are down to our top two apiece. What is your number two?
I think we're going to start crossing streams here.
I mean, we
I
have to.
think we're going to start now. Dawn, Dawn of the Dead
Is your number two?
is my number two.
Okay.
Now, let me explain. It was a respect thing. It was a
Mm,
respect.
interesting. So wait a minute. So if Dawn's your number two, and we specifically said that we were only going to do one per series, what is your number one then?
You know what? I messed up. I messed up.
Oh, so you broke the rule.
I
Wow.
broke the rule, and unintentionally. But now that you mention it,
See,
um,
I had a feeling. No, it's
All right,
okay.
so let's say this. All right, let me say this.
Okay.
Personal thing. Joey Royale, only just me. Night of the Living Dead is the greatest zombie movie of all time because it is the zombie movie of all time. Without Night of the Living Dead, we'd probably be having a very different conversation. Reanimated corpses have always been in mythology and folklore and short stories and all that, but the first time to put it on film in the way that it did, yes, we have White Zombie and Boris, I mean Bela Lugosi and all that. We've had other kind of voodoo ritual reanimation, necromancer kind of stuff. But Night of the Living Dead, to me, it was my first exposure to the zombie genre. I saw it way too young. The black and white aspect of it, as I got older and tried to and explored the themes of it more, the whole idea of social unrest in the 1960s and having a person of color as the lead protagonist for the time, I thought it just blew me away even more. And the heartbreaking, crushing social commentary of the final scene just put it over the top. It was just everything all together. It was the first of its kind. As the first of its kind, it even did it so well that it still resonates and causes fear today. Yada yada yada. George Romero is the horror god. So I had to put it at number one just out of respect. All right. So let's just drop that umbrella.
Okay.
Take that out of the way, because how can you have a zombie list without Night of the Living Dead? Take Night of the Living Dead off the table. It is too powerful. All right. That is if it was a magic card, it would be banned. You can't play that at the table. It's too much. Dawn of the Dead.
Okay. So
No,
I'll pause you there. I'll
yep.
go to my second, and then we'll talk
Please.
Dawn.
Good choice. Good
Okay.
choice.
Because the cat's out of the bag, but we'll get to it. So my number two choice, it's got a tagline of the goriest fright film of all time.
The goriest fright film of all time.
Yeah. You got any
Give me
idea?
a decade. What decade?
90s. It's a 90s movie.
The goriest fright film of all time. American?
No, actually.
I'm at a loss. You stumped me, brother.
Dead Alive.
Oh, yeah. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm stupid. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. If I had, okay, so listen, I'm not just blowing smoke up to make you happy or to say all this
Yeah,
and that.
that's
We're
fine.
going to disagree once in a while. If
Yeah.
I could do a retcon of that, if I took Romero off, that would definitely be in my top six, probably top three. Unbelievable. That movie shocked me when I saw it the first time. I didn't know what the hell I was watching. Was I supposed to laugh or to be revolted?
Yeah. There. I mean, I could talk like hours about that movie. It's one of the best movies ever. Peter Jackson, like you got Meet the Feebles, Bad Taste,
Yeah,
Dead Alive. Like before the Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson, he was. I mean, he's still awesome, but like Dead Alive is phenomenal for
yes, it is.
everything about it. There's no part of that movie that's wasted. It's got an interesting setting because it's like the 50s in New Zealand for some reason.
Yeah.
You got the rat monkey that
Uh-huh.
that bites the mom in the zoo. Like,
Because if I recall, because she's spying on the kid going on a date, right?
yep, spying on a
Yeah.
kid going on a date, eats the date's dog. She pulls it out of her mouth, like just wringing out like what's left of the
Yep.
dog out of the mom's mouth. The guy keeps them all alive in the basement. The nurse like fornicates with the priest zombie to make a
Yeah.
zombie
Yeah. Yeah.
baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
like and then or the priest himself, like I kick ass
Yeah.
for the Lord, and then he
Yeah.
like kung fu's like a bunch of zombies. That scene out of the blue. And then you got the whole like party at the end, like the weird uncle, the rockabilly uncle invites a bunch of people over, and then you got the iconic quintessential lawnmower scene where
Yes.
what is his name in the movie too? I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't want to waste time. Lionel, he just like mows everybody down. You got like I mean, like you got like the baby breaking through the lady's head.
Yeah.
You got the zombie that goes through a light pole or a light bulb and is like lit up the whole time and essentially catches the house on fire. Then the mom turns into a giant mutant that rips apart the house. It's like,
That's I mean that's another thing. It's like They just took everything off the cold cut table and rolled it up into one ball and said, "Let's just." I respect that movie because they went all out. Clearly, they were on a shoestring, but what they did with that shoestring is incredible.
Yeah.
That's just imagine. I always when I watch that movie, I say to myself, "How sticky was that set?"
Yeah,
The amount
exactly.
of gore and syrup and everything. I mean, what could that have smelled like? That's a great choice. Great choice.
Thank you. And then of course, my number one is my favorite movie of all time. So like I had to like yeah, I'll do respect to Night of the Living Dead and stuff, but Dawn of the Dead, I got the
Yep.
zombie cut, I got the regular cut, I got the ultimate edition, I got the Dawn of the Dead, baby. We
You
got
got
it
all
all.
the stuff
We
right
got it
there.
all.
That
All of it.
much respect for that collection.
So like yeah, so it's kind of like I know you're trying to find that European version, but like it's worth it. It's worth it. Like the ultimate cut. It's got
Oh my God.
all of them. It's got the theatrical version, extended version, European version, and then Document of the Dead. You ever see that like at the rental? It's like
No, no,
the
I did. Oh yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I never saw it, but I remember seeing it in the video store.
yep,
Absolutely. Thank you for triggering that. I had
yeah.
forgot about that. Yes.
It's on here too. Document of the Dead.
Yeah. Yeah. As I talked about in our last week's 2 weeks ago, the episode about the VHS tapes, one of the most scarring uh VHS covers, the HBO cover of it with the gradual transition from of state of corpse for one of the early protagonists' death. Beautiful.
Yep. So Dawn of the Dead.
So tell
Phenomenal.
me a little bit about um the the uh the Argento. Is it Argento or Fulci?
So yeah, so let me look real quick. I didn't. I thought it was Argento. Yep. So Argento essentially cut the movie. Like
They had a deal. They had a deal. Him and
yeah,
he
he released
funded
it.
part of it, right? They didn't. Romero wasn't burning dollar bills to keep himself warm at that time. So
Yeah,
he needed them to help fund the project, and he said, "I'll do it, but I want to have my fingerprint on it," right?
yeah. But so he re-edited it for a European audience, and it has the Goblin soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like that's the big
One of my
difference is the
one of my
tonality.
biggest. I kick myself for it all the time. Not too long ago, must have been a couple years ago. Goblin came to Connecticut, and
Mm,
my friend had me a ticket, and I didn't end up going for some reason, and I kick myself all the time
yeah,
to see them perform.
but
The beginning scene and that the synthesizer when the alligator this it's yeah the dystopia of it, the alligator and the fat zombie walking out of the door, and you just hear that
yeah,
unbelievable.
everything about it from the beginning scene when they're in the panic in the newsroom to
In the
try to
newsroom.
figure out what's going on to the raid on the project.
Yeah, that was disturbing. The
Yeah,
claustrophobia of it, the racist cop and all that.
yeah.
Once again, checking off all the boxes on social commentary. The zombie film is a vehicle for a lot of
Oh,
progressive
absolutely.
thought.
And then then like the religious connotations of that they respected the dead, so they didn't bury them and they left them all in the
Yep.
basement, and then they break that door down and then it's just like all hell breaks loose
Yeah.
literally.
Literally.
So, yeah. So then like the cops are friends with the helicopter pilot from the news, and then they strike up a plan to take it to the skies to figure out how to escape the, and it's inevitable. Like the zombie apocalypse is inevitable at that point. So the only best thing they could do is try to survive, and they fortify themselves in the Monroeville, Pennsylvania mall.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have, but not unfortunately. It was just a quick trip, and I didn't get to see much. Cause like
All right.
I went for work before. I was a photographer before the
Yeah.
army for like 10 years, and then we shot some pictures down in Monroeville. So I got to go for like a brief stint after work one day, but I unfortunately didn't get to get too deep into it. but I am definitely planning on eventually going again. I
In
know there's like a museum there or something now.
Monroeville, Pennsylvania.
Yep, right outside Pittsburgh.
What a ravioli trip that would be. We'll go to the Night of the Living Dead
Yeah.
cemetery, and then we'll go by the mall. That mall is in the film. What a perfect. That was like the first kind of mall. If you look at malls through a chronology,
Hmm.
that's like what I remember when I was really really young. That kind of mall before they transitioned.
Hmm.
But great mall, great idea of we go here for supplies, but then they also turn like the JC, the filings of JC Penney furniture sections into their rooms.
Well,
You
yeah.
know, like their,
So,
their little living rooms.
well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, it's like a quick supply stop, and then like they take naps, catch like figure out what they're gonna do, and then they're all enamored and hypnotized by the mall. That like not only are the zombies like drawn to it, but they're drawn to it too.
It's some kind of instinct, a memory, what they used to do. This was an important place in their lives.
When
That's when
there's
he's up on the roof.
Yep.
I had to write that down today when I was watching it. I mean, that just hits on so many levels.
And then like I
They're
mean
not there for the brains, they're there out of what did you say? Pure
mechanical
mechanical
instinct.
instinct.
Yep. The doctor in the
Um,
beginning when they're interviewing him with the eye patch,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he says it.
The bikers still to this day. I watched the bikers clip this morning, and I just yell out, "No, no, stop!" Every time. It's just, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Got
And I
caught.
think Savini's in that too, right? Savani, he's one of the bikers.
Yeah, he's the one with the machete.
Yeah. Um, I love the zombie makeup in that one.
Hmm.
Even the walk-ons, the blue,
Yeah.
just the very subtle blue with the shading. That was good enough for me as a kid to scare me. I love the Italian gore, the decomp of stuff like zombie two, whatever, zombie two and all those. I appreciate that zombie, but I always will have a special affinity for the Dawn of the Dead zombie.
Absolutely.
Um, that's one of those that kind of border on the thriller zombie, but just clearly these were people from town that were hired as extras and had a great time, and they're just like, all right, we got a bunch of blue and gray, do it up, and that always struck a chord with me. The simplicity of that.
Hmm. Yeah.
That was a great film.
And one of I mean, the iconic tagline of "When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth." Like
Yeah,
you can't get any better than that. The whole package, you got
that's all you
everything.
need.
Yep.
So what is the difference with the Argento cut?
So I would have to like go back and watch him. It's been a while, but it's definitely like a more like existential, like dread of a cut. It's not as like flashy. The
Um,
music helps a lot too. It has that feeling of hopelessness more. And then the beginning struck me better. I don't know. I really got to rewatch it. It's been a long time. I'll
I'm
get
gonna
back to you. That's my homework.
Okay, I'll try to order it in the meantime because I have not seen that version to the best of my knowledge. But the zombie film, they'll never stop making them.
Mm-mm. We'll have
Death
to.
is the eternal fear,
Yeah.
and then when you cross the threshold of the return from the dead, the loss of faculties, seeing loved ones, going through the grief of seeing loved ones die, and then having them come back
Yeah. Then the ultimate choice of having to dispose of of a living thing that's not who they were, that is their pure instinct is just to devour your flesh.
to consume,
Yep.
to consume. Nothing can stop them. You can't use the cross of the vampire or the silver of the werewolf and vampire. Yeah, sure, shoot him in the head, but then as we saw in Return of the Living Dead, that wasn't the case.
Nope.
You couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
Um,
So we'll have to do a part two and do like underrated zombie movies and hit some of them. Like we might have to make a list and then talk about it. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but we'll definitely come back. Zombies. I mean, you saw like everything I brought to the table. Like
yeah,
I love the zombie movie. I don't know. Like it was definitely because Dawn of the Dead resonated. Like I rented it like teenage year, early teenager. Like 12 or 13 maybe, and like it just stuck with me. Like everything about it, just the tone, the atmosphere of it, like everything is just was phenomenal to me. And it's still to this day my favorite movie. Like I could just put it on and any part of it and watch it over and over and over. It's just
The zombie movie will always be the genre that brings the most fear to me. I was probably 5 years old, and I was at a cemetery in the town next to my town. And my father and my grandfather were working on a monument. And he said, "Come here for a second." And he said, "Look." And it was a flat grave. It was a very old grave. And it wasn't a headstone. It was almost like I guess you'd call it like a table without legs, just a big slab of granite. And it had broken. A part of it had broken off. And there was just a corner of it that went right down. And you could, I don't know if you smell the grave. I'm not talking hardcore decomp because this person had been deceased probably from the turn of the century, but there was just cold mildew, and it was coming up. You could feel the breeze from literally 6 feet under. And he said, "Look down there." What had happened is during a storm, a tree had fallen over, broken apart of the marble because it was or the granite because it was so old, and seeped down. And the family needed it fixed. And I looked down there, and I saw cloth and I saw bone. It was the real deal. And ever since then, it stuck with me. And then, of course, my father would always think it was funny. Friday nights, we'd go to Papa Gino's and we'd stop by and pick up a G.I. Joe at the Toys R Us. And to get from Toys R Us to my house, you had to drive down the street. And on one side was Cedar Grove Cemetery, and the other side was St. Mary's Cemetery. And both two iconic cemeteries. One was Cedar Grove, was like in the woods. It was like a woods cemetery, very big, very old, a lot of cedar trees. And then across the street, St. Mary's was is more like the Night of the Living Dead, where it's like just flat, like how you see most cemeteries on the side of the road, just flat, very sprawling. And I remember my father would pull in, it would just be getting dark. And he did it a million times. He's like, "Hold on a second, I got to check out a stone for tomorrow that I got to work on." He'd get out, he'd disappear, and all of a sudden you'd start hearing banging on the side of the car, and we would start screaming. He was the one that really got me into the zombie movies, and it was messed up because we were always in the cemetery, so it resonated.
that's awesome. So, oh man, so now that just reminded me of something, but now I can't remember the name. So that's what sucks. But like, yeah, so it's funny that you say that. Like where I grew up, we had two cemeteries. Woodlawn was like across it was like your Cedar one, but it
Yeah.
wasn't across the street from each other. They were across town. And then I don't remember the name of the one. Ah, it's killing me. But like, so the one by my house was like sprawl like Night of the Living Dead style,
Yeah.
and then there was a crypt in there. Ah,
Oh, a
well, I can't.
walk-in crypt.
No, no, no. I wish. But
Yeah.
so the legend, I can't remember the name. I'm gonna ask my wife because I made her. I did this to her too when we started dating. But apropos out of nothing, Mark Twain is actually buried in the Woodlawn Cemetery.
Is he really?
Hmm.
Wow.
Yep. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But so, Del Papa. Del Papa is the name on this crypt, right? So
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the rumor was that Del Papa's last dying wish was to be stuffed and put in the window in the back of the crypt, right? So, right. So that was like the big story, like in high school and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and at night you go and it like the crypt is like on the side of like a little road. Turn around and there's like how cemeteries have the raised
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
so you put your car up there, flash your high beams at the window in the back, and you could see Del Papa like a silhouette of somebody standing in the window.
Did you ever go up and look?
Oh, absolutely! I went right to the window.
What
He's
did you see?
it's you can't. It's not anybody. It's just like a trick of the light. There's nothing
That is
there.
amazing.
But
What a
yeah,
great plan to scare kids.
yeah. So like yeah. So I don't know if like anybody does the old Del Papa anymore. I'll probably do it to my kids. Like when they're older, I'll definitely take them to Del Papa, and
You
then
got to
like
take him to Del Pa. Oh man,
yeah.
we gotta listen. We gotta talk sometime. We gotta work this into something.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Yep,
We gotta we
absolutely.
yeah.
So
Damn it.
yeah, So yeah, Del Papa. Yeah, I walked up to it like, oh yeah, like the first time because you got to pretend like you're not like freaked out of your mind.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, so you walk up to it like your heart's in your throat, like scared out of your gourd, and then you go up and then you realize that yeah, it's just a trick of the light. But like, oh my god, from the car and the high beams on, it looks like there is somebody standing in that
Sure,
window.
sure.
It's
That's
it's
what a wonderful herb, like a legend, like everybody has like, we got a couple of cemeteries in Connecticut. One's in Jewett City where there's supposed to be the grave of a vampire.
oh
Uh,
awesome.
Back in the old days, allegedly they thought this girl was a vampire, staked through the heart, didn't decomp and all that kind of thing. The Jewett City vampire. And then there's like the white lady where in the one cemetery, they always see this one lady kind of thing. I
Mm,
love that kind of stuff. In the
yeah.
cemetery in Cedar Grove, and I got to do a little bit more research on this. I just found this out recently that there was a guy, he's buried there, and this would make for a great beginning of a tale. He was one of the first people to die from radiation poisoning. He was doing an experiment. This was in California. I'm in Connecticut. He was showing some sort of dry fusion or something like that experiment, and he actually dropped one half of this sphere, and there was a radiation leak, and he and two other guys who were in the room suffered severe radiation burns, and he passed away from it, and they buried him in my town. So who knows what his radiated remains are doing to the uh, graves around him right now.
Very interesting. Very spicy.
Like a meatball.
Like a meatball of spicy sausage for sure.
When you mentioned Woodlawn, and I know I got to go in just a little bit. I promised the kids I would watch a movie tonight, so
Right.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
if I cut it short, but you mentioned Woodlawn, which made me think of Morningside, which made me think of Phantasm.
Mm.
And perhaps I think we could fill an hour or two about Phantasm. Are you a fan?
Yeah. So like last time, or I don't know, we talked about Little Joe's when I went to that store that was going out of business. That
Yeah, yeah,
the naked tapes for like $2. I bought all
yeah.
the Phantasms there because
I
I
met
mean,
Angus Scrimm. My parents took me to a famous Monsters of Filmland convention when I was in middle school. And I got to meet Angus Scrimm, and he was the nicest guy in the world.
what a concept for a movie.
What is the concept?
There is
I
no
that's why
concept.
it's madness.
Yeah.
It's like a bad trip, man. I love it, every aspect of it. The void, that weird world.
Yeah.
I just the other day, I had it during my lunch break. I was looking up locations, what the locations look like now
Mm.
from that film. Pretty cool.
Very nice. So yeah, um, people asked in the comments about us making a list of all the movies so everyone can watch it. So
Sure.
if you got your list, if you want to just hit it up to me, I'll post it for everyone
Yeah,
to see.
I'll send it to you later on.
All right,
It's
appreciate it.
always a pleasure. I cherish these times
Yep,
with you talking about this stuff. It's like we
me
grew
too.
up together.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Yeah. So
there's so
yeah,
much to talk about, man. Phantasm, local lore
yeah.
that you grew up with, stuff like Del Papa, man. I'm
I,
never gonna forget that.
I'm so happy that I remembered it to tell you because I know you appreciate it, and I didn't even get to tell you that other story.
Oh my God, yes, yes, yes.
But
Well,
that's okay. You're busy. I'll tell. I'll remind you. I'll remember for the
I
next
promised
time.
the kids.
That's
I
fine.
promised the kids we'd
Yeah.
watch Encanto tonight. We got to watch Encanto for like the 15th time.
I was gonna say, yeah, I've already seen it about. Well, we watch it 100 times, but I still haven't seen it fully through.
I haven't seen the full thing. That you're exactly right. I haven't seen the full thing through yet.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll let you get to that. So episode 4. Everyone who's watching, I'm gonna put a poll up on the Facebook group. I'll maybe even throw it over to the Instagram to see if there's any nibbles over there. I don't know if you can do polls over there. I don't know. Anyway, either way, it's gonna be. We're gonna let the Neon Maniacs and the Weird Heroes pick pick what we talk about in 2 weeks. But before you go,
Yeah.
I did want. When is the next pizza party?
I was just gonna thank you for asking. I just have my phone. I'm looking at the calendar. Wednesday, the February 23rd.
Okay,
So
so
not next
two
week, the
weeks.
week after. Yep,
Oh
two
wow.
weeks.
Yeah, so you're gonna
We
be
got
busy.
the pizza party on Wednesday night, and then for all you weird heroes, that Saturday, which I believe is the 26th,
Yep.
is Stars Across Fairhaven, where it's just going to be an open Zoom at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I don't know what's going to happen, but kind of we're just going to open the Zoom, and anybody who is a weird hero, even if you're not a weird hero, I'm going to post it on Instagram. If you want to stop by, we're going to talk about things like what if you have played WHPA, what adventures have you had, what lurks in your Fairhaven, and then kind of like what we were talking about, Neon Lord, you want to share any lore from your Fairhaven that you grew up in, and just kind of say hi to each other. There's the Fairhaven 99, so there's only 99 copies of the game, and it is where we have just crossed half of it. So we have 52 members from almost every state. We got England. I'm hoping to God. I know my friend TPK Zine
Yep.
from Instagram. I'm just put stamps on him this morning. He and I worked on February, so February's is going out Monday. He's from Australia, so it's going to be a worldwide party. Stars Across Fairhaven. Bring your Gumati. It's going to be a good time.
Okay. On that note, so that brings up. So then you got the 23rd pizza party,
Yeah,
26th Fairhaven.
yeah.
That would put us for this the 25th. Are you okay with doing 3 shows in the
Oh,
same
buddy, that's
week?
all I live for these days. That's
Okay,
all
I,
I live for
I just
these
want to make
days.
sure because I mean
Absolutely.
we could do it next weekend if you really wanted to. If you
We'll
didn't.
talk. We'll
Okay.
talk. I'm up for keeping 2 weeks, or if you want to do it next weekend, whatever you want to do. I'm ready and I'm willing. I'll get
Okay.
all lathered up and we'll come down to the mozzarella mausoleum and we'll talk shop.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I do like to keep it to 2 weeks, but maybe we could do like a improv next week or something. Like just kind of chat about something. Maybe
Sure, sure. Yeah,
we'll
that's
figure
great.
it out.
The zombie one, that was research. That took research, buddy. I needed those 2 weeks. That's a
Yeah,
big
that's true.
field. I
That
learned a
was
lot.
huge. So, all right, what's your big takeaway? What's your big thing? Like if one thing you learned out of the zombie genre.
One big takeaway. Well, I think there's a zombie for everybody, but I think what I think is there's a golden age of the zombie film, and that is somewhere to mid '70s to early '90s. That's where all the good ones is, and I really want.
Yeah.
I think you brought up a good point. I want to explore current undead films that really are either breaking the mold in a great way or really respecting the best practices of the past. My big takeaway is it'll never get old. This is part of our human experience. The fear, not only the fear of death, but the fear of undeath,
Right.
which is worth. It gets
Yeah.
at the core of the human experience.
Well, like yeah. I mean, yeah, we won't get into it, but there's an interesting concept to that. But yeah, we got to get you out of here. Encanto's calling.
A little
Yeah.
bit different than
Yeah, right.
yeah, yeah. So, well, thank you as always, Neon
All right.
Lord.
Well,
Thanks for
thank you.
awesome. Thanks to everybody watching. I had a blast, and we'll probably see you sooner rather than later, right, bud?
Oh, absolutely. I will get on the chat. We'll talk, figure it out. All the paisans and paisanos out there, make sure you go pick up the Joey Royale Ninja City. I believe Goodman Games sells it,
Yeah.
and then you could.
Everything's on the Goodman site. If you want a secret copy of WHPA, find me at get_haunted_industries on Instagram, and we'll talk tomatoes. And best, I'll tell you what, one of my favorite games of all time, Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. But of course, you already know about that. That's why you're on here.
Yep, that is true. So, well, thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it, Joey. And we'll say goodnight to the Neon Maniacs and the Weird Heroes. Have a good night and a good weekend, everybody.
Sweet dreams.